Love lives here.
So, how many, I'm going to do it, Reverend Jeff again. How many of you read my Connect this week? Oh, thank you. Did you like it? Okay, good. Because we're going to talk about the sacredness of daily spiritual practice today. And we know that our teaching talks about spiritual practice on a daily basis, and that's to, anchor us in. And the purpose is to reaffirm our connection with the divine, right? To transform our minds and thought patterns, right? Because we say, change your thinking, change your life. Thoughts are things. To align with purpose and intuition. When we tune in, tap in, and turn on to spirit, then we get a lot of things intuitively coming to us. Is that right? And then cultivating gratitude. We want to have gratitude. So I'm grateful for this day. I'm grateful for, all the things that happen in my life, because even if I deem them bad, because we know that there's no bad or good, it's an opportunity for us to grow. So I'm going to use that. It's to strengthen the spiritual muscle of faith, right? We need to strengthen our spiritual muscle of faith because all kinds of things are happening around us. And then healing and wholeness, spiritual practice restores us mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It reminds us that we are always whole and complete. And then the power of consistency. The consistency, tune in and tap in and turn on to spirit. It's always living. It lives within us. So we're always aware of it. We have access to it. But they said that the greatest trick on man is that they hid it right within us. We're looking for it over here. We're diving off of mountains looking for that, that adrenaline rush of spirit. We're doing all kinds of stuff, but we forgot to look where it's put right within us. God is I am, right? God is you are. So bringing spirituality into everyday life, but we don't want to make it separate from our life. Even though this talk is about the sacredness of spiritual practice and talking about, having a sacred space that we have in our home that we can go to, or go to the beach and, sit and meditate, let those negative ions hit us and feel so good and all of that. But there's more to it than that. So when I was looking to do this talk, when I was researching, I started thinking about what other cultures that we know that, have a regular spiritual practice. And, it came up with the indigenous people. They do sweat lodges and drumming, and all kinds of stuff, peyote, all kinds of stuff, spiritually to bring in that divine, to have access to that divine and all of that. And then I started thinking about what connects us to our faith. And so in my Connect, I started talking about concrete. I was all over the place that day. I was like, when you have lemons, make lemonade. You go in your refrigerator and you have all this stuff, all these leftovers, you throw it in a big pot and you make goulash. So then I was like, okay, I was talking to my prayer partner and she was like, what about concrete? And I thought, that's good. So how many people know how to make concrete? Chester, what do you need? One item that you need. Is that Chester? There's a ventriloquist in here. Chester moved his mouth, but somebody else over there spoke. You need cement, you need water, sand, and rocks, and you grind that all up and put it together. And I started to think about when we get it has to be agitated, right? You got to grind it all up and you got to mix it all up. So I started thinking about the leaders. I know there was a lot of marches yesterday because everybody's really agitated right now. about what's going on in our leadership. So I just thought about spiritual practice being a catalyst for making something so strong like concrete. And that's what our spiritual practice does for us. It deepens us into our faith and makes our faith just stronger, right? When we really do it. But then I wanted to also talk about we need to incorporate it into our daily life, but not just sitting on a cushion somewhere. We should be practicing the presence of spirit in all that we do. So take the mundane and make it sacred, right? We talked about that a little bit in class, that when you're washing the dishes, it can be a spiritual experience. Not for me, because I hate to wash dishes. But I allow my family to do it so they can have that they can just have that spiritual practice. I'm a giver, right? Yes. I want everybody to have access to this thing called spirituality, so I just allow my family to do that for me. There's some other things I let them do for me too, but I won't go into that. It's good to laugh. Sometimes we have to laugh. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to do an exercise with you. You know, because to really drill this thing down into us, taking the mundane and making it sacred, because it's not always about going up into the Himalayas and sitting in the lotus position forever and ever. You know, you got to come down the mountain sometimes. We got to turn on the television and see what's happening. We got to get together with our family on Thanksgiving and and commune with them. Although my family is just great. We love each other so much. We have so much fun together, don't we, Daryl? You know, you ain't been to a party until you've been to a Cummins party. My family, this just, but anyway, I digress. Anyway, I'd like to do an exercise with you now. So I just invite you to, you know, just take everything out of your hands and just settle into this moment. Take a deep breath, if you will. And just think about something that you do or you get to do that maybe you think is mundane. Think about a task. So we begin by taking a deep breath, settling into this moment, and we want to create this experience. Want to cultivate awareness of the sacredness in simple daily acts. So just think of something that you do on a regular basis that you don't find it to be sacred. And just bring that into your awareness. And I'm going to read this quote. There is no separation between the sacred and the mundane. It is the consciousness that defines the experience. So it might be washing dishes, driving, or making coffee. But I invite you to approach the task with reverence and mindfulness. So think about that thing that you do and approach it with reverence and mindfulness. Now imagine that you're performing this mundane task, but imagine you're performing it as a sacred ritual. And consider this. How can I approach this task with gratitude? How can I bring love or joy into this action? Knowing I am connected with the divine through it. And how can I release impatience and see this task as a gift? So I invite you now to take another deep breath. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So that's what we want to do. We want to practice the presence of God in everything that we do. Yes, we want to have those times, maybe in the morning, whenever you have free time to kind of to sit and go within. But it's important that we practice presence in everything that we do. I was talking to Marty, and I don't think he'll mind me sharing this. Marty and Vicky have a new pet. And so we were talking about the chore that it takes. You know, you have to do things when you have pets. But then we talked about how much of a joy after doing the chores or the things that the pet requires. He gets unconditional love from that pet. He gets to pick him up, hold him. He kisses his face, you know, all of that. Those things that bring us joy. So, you know, in every opportunity, in every moment is an opportunity to experience the sacred and choose to see the divine in all that we do. And so I thank you for indulging me in that sacred practice. And I want us to go to our tables now. Okay, so thank you everybody for that. And then I just wanted to say finally that, you know, Science of Mind Principles teaches us that spiritual practice is not confined to a set time or place. It has to be woven into the fabric of our everyday lives. And it reminds us that spiritual practice can be found in the little moments of life, like Tamara was talking about. And we have the ability to make each one sacred simply through our consciousness, right? And that every moment is an opportunity to experience the sacred. Every moment is an opportunity to experience the sacred. So like Tamara was saying, you know, she may stub her finger or toe or something like that. And, you know, it's just a wake-up call to be more mindful, to be more present in what we're doing at that moment. And give thanks for it. You know, like it's an opportunity to say, ooh, that was a close one. She could have broke her finger, broke her toe, you know, all that. So we have to be grateful for these opportunities that we have. And so I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Now, homework. And it's just simple. It's just simple. Be mindful. Be in the present moment. And when you're going about your day, like I heard Tamara say at the table, many times a day, she stops and she gives thanks. And so I invite you to do so as well. You know, during the day when you're doing something, sometimes we get caught up in what we're doing. Just stop, take a moment, breathe, have present mind awareness of that very moment, and just give thanks. And so it is. All right, so I just invite the Leadership Council and the practitioners to kind of stand up. And taking in a deep breath, recognizing that there's only one divine spirit, and giving thanks for all that it is in us, as us. Giving thanks for our beautiful center that allows us to gather, to learn, to commune, and to do all the wonderful things that we do right here on Sunday and through the week when we come together. How wonderful it is to have a place that we can come to and gather and support each other and love on one another. You know, we are making something great here. We're making our concrete with, you know, we have our cement, our rocks, and our gravel. We fill in the holes for each other. We fill in we provide each other that glue. I'm going to say glue. So I want to give thanks for this and so much more, our daily spiritual practice. Give thanks for the spirit that resides in each and every one of us. Knowing that love and wisdom and abundance, perfect health and wholeness is always available to us. It is within us. And so we take this spiritual practice and we tune in and tap in and turn it on all day long throughout our day. Yes, we have those times where we sit in the silence and we give thanks and gratitude for the Spirit. But we also utilize this and we open up to Spirit throughout our day. So thank, and I'm so grateful for each one of you. Thank you for being in community. Thank you for supporting this center. Thank you for being the magnificent individuals that you are. You make this place great. So I give thanks for that, all that we are, all that we are becoming. And our affirmation today is, you can open up your eyes, and our affirmation today is, I honor the sacredness of daily practice. Let's say it together. I honor the sacredness of daily practice. Let's say it again. I honor the sacredness of daily spiritual practice. Thank you very much. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything that I do. I am it. I share it. I receive it. And I move love forward because love lives here. Happy Sunday and happy birthday to those, and happy anniversary.